Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Oh, I have to say more than that, don't I? Welcome to the Lords of Podcast Roundtable. I am your wonderful, wonderful host that never messes up. My name is Hustle. Joining me for this Turning Point Predictions episode, we have some usual cast members, and we have some new members here this week. The usual guys, we have Kyle, say hello.
Hey guys.
And we have Jeff, say hello.
What's up, everybody?
Joining us this week, first, let's have Mr. Glow say hello.
Hello, America. How are you doing? Not my first time on a podcast. First time on this podcast. Believe that? Well, Young Money, Cash Money, 1 billion, we the business.
OMP Illuminati.
Burr.
Seeing eye.
Burr.
By the way, we have more listeners than just in America, but
Oh,
at least you said hello to America. That's fine.
For the 6 people in Spain, howdy. There we go. I got you.
Howdy to people in Spain. All right. And last, but certainly not least, we have Lords of Pain's resident TNA expert, my fellow main page columnist, The Crow. Say hello.
What's up, listeners around the world, not just America?
God bless America. Nowhere else.
Ouch.
Typical
All
American.
Right. Hey, quit talking.
Have a war in our
Let's get this out of the way. No interrupting me, damn you. As I usually do for the pay-per-view prediction podcast, I'm going to send it to Kyle to give you the overall results of our contest and where we are now, and let's get this underway. So go ahead, Kyle.
All right. Looking at the our previous contest, Vengeance, it was a pretty solid show. A lot of mixed results from everybody. Our big winner for the month was Hustle at 6-2. After that, we had myself, Glow, and Seth Omega at 5-3. Azriel from LOP Forums and D with a 4-4. Then Jeff had a 3-5.
Fuck.
Romeo from LOP Forums had a 2-6, and then Sean Genshin no-showed.
Doing agent there.
Yeah, he no-showed, and that was, he had already used his buy 0-8, and I think he's out of the contest now. Moving to the overall standings, that puts myself in first place at 26-12. Glow's in second place, a half game back at 21-8. And then there's a tie for third with Jeff and Hustle at 25-13.
Swag.
Azriel from LOP Forums is at 20-10 in fifth place. D is at 22-16 in sixth place. Seth's at 20-18, and then bringing up the rear is Row is War at 13-16. Moving on to TNA Turning Point that's happening tomorrow. First match on the card is going to be Inc. versus Mexican America for the tag team titles. Crow?
Yeah, this feud's been going on for a little while now, without anything real going on. I mean, they fight on Impact in a backstage segment or in a tattoo shop in some examples. Then they kind of disappear for a while, and for some inexplicable reason now, we've got women involved in this tag title match. So it's actually 3-on-3, and they haven't really explained what role the women are going to play. Like, is it going to be Freebird rules, or are they just representatives of the team, or what's going down? So at least on one hand, there's a story behind it. On the other hand, why does it make sense? Or how does it make sense, rather?
All right. We'll start with Hustle.
Oh, do you really have to? All right. Well, first and foremost, I'm not really looking forward to this match. There's nothing taking place in this match that really intrigues me in any way. But I guess it is a tag team title match, so I should pretend to be interested. Originally, I was going to pick Mexican America just for no real reason at all. Just it seems like the company has more faith in them than in Ink Inc. But with these recent reports that we've been talking about before the show, that Hernandez might only have about a month or so left in the company before his contract runs out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to change my pick. I'm gonna have to go with Ink Inc. We haven't seen any reports that they have re-signed him or that they're even really actively working to re-sign Hernandez. So putting the titles on him at this point would be kind of weird. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ink Inc. and Toxine or whatever to pick up the victory and hopefully move on from this ridiculous feud.
Jeff?
The best thing about this match will be looking at Toxine / Christina Von Eerie, so that should tell you how it's going to go. I'm going to pick Ink Inc. as well. I think this is they seem to have built it up to where Mexican America has had a good run, but it's time to move on and give the championship belts to someone else. And as much as I don't like Ink Inc., they get the titles here, I believe.
Glow?
Well, as I always say, when I do my picks, I like to pick exactly where they're going to have their next direction going to. I don't see much left for Mexican America to do, and especially with Hernandez being, I think he's not going to be signed again because he hasn't shown any improvement from the last contract, even though they didn't even send him to Mexico. So it's pretty much a lock that he's probably not going to be back. So I was picking Ink Inc. to win, and their next contenders are probably going to be, unfortunately, and I hope I'm not right, Robbie E and Robbie T. I hope not. But they'll need a heel team to battle against, and that's like the only heel team I could even think of right now.
Well, I'm picking Ink Inc. to win, and I'm really hoping that they bring the British Invasion back on television to feud with Ink Inc. That would be my pick for the next feud. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got on this match. Quite a few people picked Ink Inc. D also picked Ink Inc. And then we had Seth Omega, Ro, and Azrael picking Mexican America. Next match we're going to look at is Robbie E. versus Eric Young for the television title. Crow?
Oh, you're killing me here, picking like my two least favorite matches in a row. This one, it's been going on again for a little while, kind of under the radar. And I see what they're trying to do. I mean, Robbie has basically been coming after Eric Young's title, trying to get some sort of importance back to the belt. But, aside from the only real title defenses Eric Young's had since winning the belt, like back in May, I mean, he defended it against D'Lo Brown, which who cares, and Scott Baio when they were on a golf course. So really that shows how much TNA really cares about this title. This is basically a match. I mean, it's going to be the end of their feud, hopefully. They had last week with Ronnie from the Jersey Shore come in for the tag match. And it's kind of up in the air as to who's going to win at this point.
I'll start this one. Just reading the results so far, it seems that Eric Young has gotten the upper hand for pretty much the entire month since Bound for Glory over Robbie E. And I really had to battle, are they really going to just squash Robbie E off of television, not have him win anything? And then I thought to myself, yes, that's exactly what they're going to do. Eric Young wins, Robbie E's not going to amount to anything. Jeff?
Yeah, other than this little push the last couple weeks for Robbie E, I don't think TNA has much faith in him. So Eric Young retains here, even though he's done nothing at all over the course of however long his reign has been, but he retains here.
Glow?
I agree. I believe Eric Young is going to retain. Basically, so I'm making my prediction based on my earlier prediction, hoping that Robbie E and Robbie T are probably going to move on. So he can't have they don't really care about the belt though, but he can't have the belt and move into a tag title belt feud also. So Eric Young should pick up the victory in a funny, comical, but not really funny manner tonight.
Makes sense.
Hustle?
Yeah, I actually agree with what Glow said earlier. I would like to see the British Invasion come back to TV and be the next tag title contenders, but I don't see it happening.
I
do
said
think...
that, not Glow, by the way.
No, I mean, I was going to get to his point.
Yes.
Oh.
I was saying I would like to see the British invasion, but I do think Robbie E and Robbie T are going to be the next team to get a shot.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But, yeah, Eric Young wins this, and the title continues to mean nothing, and we'll see where they go from there, I guess.
Well, it's a clean sweep, except for Roe. Roe picked Robbie E to win.
That means we're right. Awesome.
Next up, we have Ken Anderson and Abyss versus Scott Steiner and Bully Ray.
Oh, God.
Crow?
As much as people are hating on this match, at least it does have a fairly strong story build-up. I mean, Anderson and Abyss have both been kicked out of Immortal at this point. Anderson's basically been made to look like a bitch every time he goes up against Immortal. As much as I hate on Abyss in my columns and stuff, at least he has a reason to come back and fight against his old team. This tag match, I mean, it's basically going to be the same thing we saw on Impact this week. Not that a lot of you probably watched it, but it's going to be a fairly violent match. It's not going to be a technical masterpiece by any means. Hopefully, it's finally the end of this story, though. Anderson and Abyss get their revenge, whatever.
Glow?
Sorry, I was muted. This is actually a hard match to pick because I don't know where they're going to go after this. Where's Ken going to go? Where's Abyss going to go? I kind of see where they're going to take Bully Ray, because I think Bully Ray is actually going to start putting himself into the title picture sooner or later, because he's one of the strongest heels that they have. But the rest of them, they really have nothing to do after this. So I'm picking Bully Ray and Abyss to win, to continue the feud. No, wait, Bully Ray, is it Bully Ray and Abyss, or who's Bully Ray's partner?
It's Anderson and Abyss.
I know I said that wrong. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Bully Ray and Steiner will win, so they can finish at Final Resolution, because they like to wrap up feuds at Final Resolution, where Ken and Abyss will go over them there in some form or fashion.
Yeah, after reading Crow's column on LOP, I switched my answer from Anderson Abyss to Steiner Bully Ray. It seems like a logical thing that they'd win, and yeah, like Glow said, that they'd finish it off at Final Resolution. Hustle?
So you're saying that something seems logical, so TNA is going to do it?
Wait.
That's what you just said.
Uh-oh.
No. No.
Well, technically, it's within TNA's logic.
Yeah, you're using TNA logic. Kyle's right. That's what I'm using, at least.
Well, I'm going to use the fact that TNA clearly sees more in Anderson and Abyss than Steiner and Bully Ray. I mean, it's pretty clear that they want Anderson to be one of the top guys in the company. And, Abyss, with as many different pushes as they've given him, they clearly have a lot of faith in him, too, for one reason or another. So I'm going to go with Anderson and Abyss. And hopefully they can, well, maybe not hopefully, because I don't really give a shit about either one, but maybe they'll be built up again after a few months worth of nothingness.
Jeff?
Why not?
I'm going to have to agree with Hustle and go with Enderbis here.
Enderbis.
I don't think, if Bully Ray loses here, it doesn't do anything to him. Scott Steiner doesn't do anything, so it's not going to affect him. I think Anderson and Abyss need this win more for their characters, so I'm going to go with them and hope TNA doesn't drag out this Immortal versus Anderson feud for any longer.
Wait, can I say one more thing, or we have to move on?
Go for it.
Real quick, with that, the other reason why I was picking them is because Immortal looks like they're going to have a very weak card this pay-per-view. And unless they're going to really split up Immortal and just, end it, I think they're going to let Bully Ray and Steiner pull it out. Because nobody else from Immortal's winning this. At least I don't think so.
That's fine.
But yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Moving on to the rest of the picks for this one, it was pretty split down the middle. D and Rowe picked Anderson and Abyss, and then AJ and Seth Omega picked Steiner and Bully Ray. Next up, we're going to look at Gail Kim versus Velvet Sky for the Knockouts title. Crow.
There's from some people I've talked to, there's a lot of disagreement over whether or not Gail Kim deserves this push she's getting right now, being that she's only been back with the company for a few weeks and already has one championship. She's half of the Knockouts tag team champions there. So basically, we've got her coming back to the company as being promoted as, basically the backbone of the entire Knockouts division. And we've got Velvet Sky, who just finally won the belt at Bound for Glory earlier this year. They're going up against each other, classic, good guy, bad guy thing. And that's, not a whole lot else is going on because it hasn't been built up for that long. So on to the picks.
Jeff?
I'm going with Velvet Sky here. I know they're building up Gail Kim really quickly since her return, but I don't think she wins the title here. She's already got one title. They just put it on Velvet Sky at Bound for Glory. I think they're going to, if anything, raise Velvet Sky up a little bit more before they take the title off of her and give it to Gail Kim. So I expect Velvet to win here and maybe have a rematch at Final Resolution.
I picked Velvet Sky, but by disqualification. I think with this stable that Gail Kim's looking like she's in with Karen Jarrett, Madison Rain, and the reluctant Tracy Brooks, if I remember correctly. I think there's just going to be some interference, and it's just going to get thrown out, and Velvet Sky wins by disqualification. Glow?
Well, this goes back to when Hustle said you were using logic. Jeff is using actually good booking logic in his pick, which is why I'm picking against his pick. Because I think TNA is going to be completely illogical. Well, not completely, but Gail Kim is going to come out. She's with a stable. And Velvet Sky just won the belt, but she won the belt in a non-spectacular fashion. It was in that multi-man match. I see them giving Gail Kim the belt and letting Velvet do another chase. And maybe she might really have her moment. Maybe not Final Resolution, but the pay-per-view in February. That's kind of big. So Gail Kim, because they also need a strong heel in the women's division. That's not Madison. So Gail Kim for the championship, and she's gonna have both belts, and she's gonna be saying "suck this, John Laurinaitis" or whatever. But continue.
Hustle?
Oh, do I really have to? God.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Oh, man. I think it's pretty clear that they want to push this Karen Jarrett quote-unquote stable. They want to push it as being some sort of dominant force in the Knockouts division. And with Gail Kim already being one half of the Knockouts tag title or champions, giving her the Knockouts title here would only cement that. And it would make the group seem really dominant. They have the person who's quote-unquote running the division in the group. They have the person who has all the titles in the group. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Gail Kim to win the title here, even though she doesn't deserve it because she's not getting much of a response from the TNA fans who will pop for anything, really.
All right. D also chose Gail Kim. Seth Omega and Rowe picked Velvet Sky. It was fairly split down the middle, but D changed his pick before the show to Gail Kim.
So Azrael didn't pick anyone?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, AJ. AJ also picked Gail Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we have a triple threat match for the X Division title. It's Kid Cash versus Austin Aries versus Jesse Sorensen.
Does anyone believe Aries is losing here? Can we just... Because
this is the one that we were having some disagreement on before the show. Seems like everyone's got Aries on as their pick. I'm actually going against that in mine.
What?
I know.
You don't honestly believe they're going to give it to Sorensen, at least not yet, do you?
The way that they've been building him up, I actually think there might be some hope there. That's my pick for this one.
But they better not. Wait, it's not my turn yet? I'll wait till my turn.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll
go
get
ahead.
the story. I mean, The story behind the match,
Give the
basically,
story.
these have been the only 3 guys involved in the X Division for the past little while. You've got Kid Cash and Aries as the strong veteran heels in this feud. You got Jesse Sorensen as the up-and-coming new kid that is basically, getting the face pop of a young Randy Orton here.
TNA. Yeah.
And that's basically the story. I mean, you've got old school versus new school here. New guys coming up and getting the upper hand from time to time.
All right, who's going first?
Let's go with Hustle since I don't have his pick yet.
I actually shouldn't even be that upset. This is probably going to be a pretty good match. Sorensen's looked pretty decent so far. I mean, he's still obviously really young and he's got a ways to go, but he has a lot of potential. And Cash, for a 70-something-year-old man, he's still doing pretty decently. And
Terry Funk. Yeah,
pretty much. And, Austin Aries is Austin Aries, so you know what you're going to get from him. I do think that Jesse Sorensen will be the person to take the title off of Austin Aries, but I don't think it's going to happen here. I think that he'll have a pretty good showing. He'll probably be the quote MVP of the match. I think the performance that Sorensen will put in here is what you'll remember coming out of the match. But I do think Aries retains the title just barely, and we'll move on to keep feuding with Sorensen, I guess.
Jeff?
This is Sorensen's big opportunity in TNA. He's in the ring with Austin Aries, the greatest man that ever lived. He's in the ring with Kid Cash, a bona fide veteran of the X Division for TNA. And this is where he gets to shine and put on a good show and prove that he's on their level. I don't think he wins. I think they keep it on Austin Aries. I don't think it's time quite yet for Sorensen, but he'll get another shot down the line, probably one-on-one, and possibly win there. But I believe Aries wins it here.
Yeah, I'm picking Aries. Low?
Well, I'm also picking Aries, but my discuss earlier is because Crow has a point. I don't really see where Aries would go with his next feud if he does win this. And I could see them, they have been building Sorensen for a while. And I could also see them having Sorensen go against Cash at Final Resolution and get a big victory defending his belt. But TNA would be beyond stupid, which they are, to actually take this belt off of Austin Aries. And I'm hoping that they're not going to have a TNA moment and do something that's just going to piss me off and make me throw something at my computer screen when I torrent their pitiful pay-per-view. Because Austin Aries is, as Jeff said, the greatest man who ever lived. That's his gimmick, but he's very close to making that true. If he's not top 3 best wrestler, he might even be the best wrestler in their company, if not top 3. They cannot take this belt off of Austin Aries. But I can see them doing it. Austin Aries, for all logic in the world, for everything that's good, for gumdrops and teddy bears, I hope that Austin Aries keeps this belt. TNA, don't screw this up. Don't piss me off. Please don't piss me off.
If Aries loses the belt, then what is he going to do afterwards? You're going to send him to the television title and basically demote him down the card?
He'd be so buried on the television title. No.
I mean, I don't think he's quite there for the world title yet. I mean, they do have it on a heel, so unless they want to turn Aries face, which I wouldn't mind.
Aries isn't a great face, though, but...
Well, you could just keep him with this gimmick, basically, and just have him be a face, because he gets decent pops now, even though he's a heel. So
he's a good-ass wrestler.
Exactly, but
they better not take it off.
Yeah, don't take it off of him, at least not yet, until you've got something else that can be lined up for him.
Effing TNA.
Well, it's a clean sweep. Everyone picked Austin Aries for this one,
except for Crow.
Well, Crow's picking Sorensen, but
yeah,
but that doesn't really matter.
After that, we're looking at Crimson versus Matt Morgan. Crow.
Yeah, this match probably has one of the better build-ups of any other match on the card. Purely because this has been going on for a little while now. It goes back to the Bound for Glory series, where you've got Samoa Joe taking people out left and right because he's trying to work his way back up the card from his negative 10 point standing on the standings there. So you've got him, storyline taking out Crimson and Morgan, and then Morgan returns from his real injury, finally gets his revenge. They have a triple threat match at Bound for Glory. Crimson comes out on top, and now Morgan's basically coming out and saying, you beat me in that match. It's time for you to prove yourself one-on-one against one of the best the TNA has to offer. So you got Morgan in as the clear face in this match. You've got Crimson coming in as kind of the tweener. He's got a bit of an edge to him, not quite a heel yet. And Morgan really believes he's the one to end the streak here.
Jeff?
This, to me, it's fairly built up, and we've seen Crimson throwing in some sort of tweenerish or heelish mannerisms and attitude past few weeks, which is why I think Crimson wins here. I think he sort of goes full-fledged heel here, does something to screw Matt Morgan over and keep his winning streak intact to continue this feud a little bit and maybe add some sort of interesting character to Crimson.
Yeah, I'm picking Crimson. Hustle?
Honestly, I'm going to say this, and it's not what I want to happen, it's just what I think is going to happen. But it's something that I think everyone has seen coming for a while. I don't think Crimson is going to lose until after he wins the world title.
God, jeez.
Dear God, no.
It's pretty clear that they're building him up. Or
Austin
are
Aries
trying.
will beat him before he gets there. Austin Aries will do it.
Not a chance.
Not even
Not
close.
a chance. Crimson's
There's always
gonna
a
win
chance.
here. No, this is TNA, Jeff. No, Crimson's gonna win here. He's gonna move on. He'll eventually get his world title shot. He'll win his world title.
So
And
I have a question. So are you saying he's going to win clean?
no, I do think he's gonna turn heel here too. But
Okay.
that's only going to make him even meaner and make him even. They're going to give him even more of a push now, because now he's going to become an even bigger monster. Blah 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 blah.
Insert cliches here.
Whatever. Crimson wins. Whatever.
Glow.
I echo Hustle's sentiment. I think Crimson is going to win, and I think he is going to turn heel. But I don't know if he's going to be heel when he wins the belt, unfortunately. I think he's probably going to be a babyface when he wins the belt. He's probably going to make another turn. So there's more money in that. But right now, they're going to have Crimson do like some eye poke and roll up or something and beat Matt Morgan. Yeah. Nobody cares, though, but that's what's going to happen.
All right.
See, now that he says that, I could really see, like, he turns heel here, and then somewhere down the line he turns face to take it off of Bobby Roode, who is the biggest heel.
Oh, I'll talk about that when I get there, but it's not going to be Crimson beating Bobby Roode.
You don't think so?
Oh, interesting.
Well, it's a clean sweep except for Rowe. Rowe picked Matt Morgan to end the streak tonight.
That means we're right. Yes. That was
Awesome.
terrible at picks. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Moving on, we have Christopher Daniels versus Rob Van Dam in a no disqualification match. Crow?
Kind of the third match on the card with not a super great build-up. That being said, it stems from Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles having a match a while back, where Styles goes to pull out the screwdriver on Daniels. Daniels quits the match, and then goes and does the same thing to RVD the next week with a screwdriver, takes him out. So they've kind of been fighting for the past couple weeks, building up to this match, I guess. And they threw a no disqualification match on it because they know that a regular match probably wouldn't be as good.
All right.
That's about all I have to say there.
Glow?
I don't have nothing to really say about this match. Actually, I don't even remember what match we're talking about. That's how not interested that I am. What match are we talking about?
Daniels RVD, no disqualification.
Jeez. Daniels RVD.
They both win?
It's going to be a no contest.
No, there will be a contest. I say, since Daniels is on like a mini push right now, he has to remain on some sort of level to fight AJ again whenever they fight again, probably next pay-per-view. So Daniels is going to pull out a victory somehow, some way.
Hustle.
Oh man,
It's brutal.
what? Well, what Survivor Series match is this? What's going on?
This
That's
really
next-
is the match no one wants to pick.
That's next week, Hustle. That's the Survivor Series
This
show.
is a terrible match to pick, but yeah.
It's kind of sad because this has potential to be a pretty decent match. It just I'm really not interested in it. I'm not an RVD fan. I'm a Daniels fan. I mean, he's not one of my favorites in the world, but I'm a fan of the guy. Oh man, wow.
There's that
Can I just-
enthusiasm for TNA.
Can I just literally flip a coin?
If you'd like.
All right, I'm gonna flip a coin here. Hold on.
All right, shh. Everybody listen for the coin.
No, I'm just gonna flip it on the bed. I don't think you're gonna hear it.
Aw.
Aw.
Heads is gonna be Daniels. Tails is gonna be RVD. All right,
Heads in the bed.
it's Tails.
Damn.
RV.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I guess I'm picking RVD to win.
I picked Daniels. I'm trying to beat you in this contest.
Jeff.
Anything that RVD does nowadays holds no interest for me at all, period. I don't see him winning here. I think Daniels gets the victory here. And once again, build him as another heel. Possibly build up to another AJ Styles match. I don't know. I don't care. Daniels wins.
Man, there's
Stop
just
using the
nothing,
screwdriver somehow because that's his gimmick now.
nothing but hate for this match, apparently.
It's going to be a good match, though.
I know. Nobody cares about it, though. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I think RVD really doesn't need a win here to stay over. He's going to be over anyways.
His theme song always gets him over because the fans will chant with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And they're probably building Daniels up for another AJ Styles thing. They just took a break so Styles could have a world title match.
Which makes no sense. but-
I'm picking Daniels. After that, we have AJ and D also picking Daniels, and then Seth and Rowe picking RVD.
Fuck.
Of course, pick RVD.
Yes.
Moving on to the little grudge match between Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy. Crow.
Perfect. This is one of the ones I'm actually personally looking forward to the most on the card. It's got a good story. I mean, it's building off of the real life events of Jeff, kind of showing up all screwed up on drugs for his world title match with Sting, which I'm sure everyone and their mom knows about at this point. So he's been going around the past few weeks asking everyone for forgiveness, asking for another chance in the company. Obviously, Jarrett and his whole crew is against it. Jeff Hardy's been fighting for it. Finally got kind of the upper hand, and now they're finally settling it at the pay per view here in the grudge match, like Kyle said.
Let's start with Hustle.
Oh my god. This could be a good match. I mean, Jeff Jarrett's a solid worker, if a little boring at times. I think his character and his promos are a lot better than his in-ring work has been in recent years. But Jeff Hardy, if he's as sober as he says he is, he has a lot of potential to be exciting. I mean, he's not going to win everyone over, but you're going to get some crazy spots from him in every match that he does. But I do think that Hardy has to win here. It would just be kind of weird if they did this where he comes back after this long break and he's trying to win everybody back over, and he comes back and loses. Even if Jarrett doesn't win the match cleanly, it would just look weird. Hardy's going to win here, and he's going to get propelled back to the main event sooner than later. So, yeah, there you go.
Jeff?
Well, either way, Jeff is going to win this match.
Ah.
Yes. To me, it all depends on what TNA thinks about Jeff Hardy at this exact moment. If they're still upset at him and they're still angry with him for what he did, he probably loses here as some sort of, getting back at him thing like, you fucked up, this is your punishment, you lose to Jeff Jarrett. If they're sold on him, if they think he's completely sober and completely cleaned up and that he deserves, another push, they'll let him win here. I personally think that Jeff Jarrett wins by some sort of shenaniganery.
Shenaniganery.
Probably some sort of interference that costs Jeff Hardy the match. And then Immortal will beat up on him, and then somebody from the backstage will run out and help Jeff Hardy, and they'll have a big fight, and they'll have a big brawl, and Jeff will still stand tall after the match with his buddies. So, Jeff Jarrett, but interference sets up another match down the line.
My biggest point against your thing is if they were still mad at Jeff Hardy, they probably wouldn't have even brought his ass back. Like,
this is true, but
why would you bring someone back just to punish him and like?
Why wouldn't you?
Sound like TNA to me.
Well, I'm picking Hardy to win because it just really doesn't make sense to like have him lose in his comeback match. His comeback pay-per-view match, I should say. Glow?
Okay. Before I start, can I ask you who did Rowe pick in this match?
Well, he picked Jeff Jarrett.
Okay. All right. So that kind of helps my pick. I initially did pick Jeff Hardy when Kyle first asked me, but during this whole podcast I was debating because they could give Jeff Hardy his big payoff at Final Resolution next month, or they could give it to him now. But then Hustle did make a good point. Why would they bring Jeff Hardy? They've been building it up, have him apologize, and for him to have like his first major match back, even though he had little matches, this is his first major match back, and lose to the King of Mexico, Jeff Jarrett. So I say Jeff Hardy, he'll pull off a great victory, and then Jeff Jarrett will go back to Mexico, and Jeff Hardy will get pushed back into the main event picture somehow, some way, next month.
All right. AJ and Seth also picked Jeff Hardy. D just barely changed his pick to Jeff Hardy before it got locked in. Moving on to the main event of the night, it's going to be AJ Styles versus Robert Roode for the TNA World Heavyweight title. Crow?
All right, so time for the main event here. If anyone has read my stuff over the past couple of weeks, I'm not exactly happy with the title picture right now. Roode had his chance to win at Bound for Glory, and he got cheated out of it. Storm wins it like the next week, and then all of a sudden they hot-shot it to Roode anyway.
Wait, that makes no sense.
Which makes perfect for TNA.
So it's perfect sense.
They did that?
Yeah, they did that.
Oh my goodness.
That's exactly what happened.
I'm joking. I know
you
that.
You can't make this up. You literally cannot make this up. No one else would do this.
I am not a talented enough writer to make this happen. But yeah, so I mean that's what's been going down, and Storm got his rematch on Impact this week, but he got jumped backstage beforehand, so he wasn't exactly in the best of shape. Roode basically cemented his heel turn and screwed Storm when he was down. And the only reason AJ has this match is because he literally came out in the last 45 seconds of the show to save Storm from a beatdown. Challenges Roode to the match. Sting makes it happen, and now we're here with the title match on Sunday.
Sounds about right.
Absolutely no build.
Absolutely no build.
Hustle, go for it.
Okay, here we go. I like AJ Styles. I'm a big fan of his work. I think he's really improved since he was nothing but a spot monkey in the beginning of TNA's days. He's still a spot monkey now, but he's more of a complete worker now. So I am a fan of his. He is TNA's golden boy, so to speak. He's their John Cena. which is it's kind of funny to say, but
The Cena slander. Awesome. Okay.
I don't think that was really
No.
Cena slander. But
Yeah.
all right,
Compared to AJ Styles, that's slander. Continue.
no, yeah, he's the top guy, whether he has the title or not. He's TNA's guy. This much we know. But if he wins the title here, I think it'll go down in at least the top 10 of the dumbest things that TNA has ever done. Ever done. Think
I'd
about
put it
that.
in the top
very carefully.
5, personally. If that happens, it's probably top 5 dumbest things they've ever done.
I mean, that's WCW 2000 levels of title inflation, for lack of a better word.
To build up
That
Robbie
would be 3 title switches in the same month if they did that.
Thank you for interrupting me because I just said Robbie Roode. Wow. To build up Bobby Roode the way that they've built him up, only to not give him the title at Bound for Glory when he, quote, should have got it, and then to just hand it to James Storm on Impact in a terribly meaningless way. We're just going to have you get your ass kicked for 99% of a match, hit one move, match is over, here's the title. And then to just give it right back to Rude on Impact again, only to have him just drop it to AJ Styles on pay-per-view? No. I know I make fun of TNA a lot. God knows I make fun of TNA a lot, and we've made fun of them a lot on this podcast alone. But I really don't think TNA is that dumb.
Really?
I think Bobby Roode's going to win here. He has to win here. God, he has to win here. He has to win here.
Otherwise, his credibility's shot.
He has to win. That's all I can say.
Glow?
It's funny. I agree with Hustle on that same sentiment, but I'm basing it on TNA's stupidity. Because I feel like they're setting this up for something very stupid. As I said earlier, Robert Roode's not losing it yet. And I say that because I said it before and people laugh. I still believe Hulk Hogan's going to be the one to take the belt off of Robert Roode.
Oh, no.
Because I know, I'm telling you, I'm basing it on their stupidity. So, because Hogan's been like leaking storylines, because I guess that's like his new thing to do. Every time he goes on the radio or goes anywhere, he pretty much is telling everybody what's going to be happening in TNA. And he keeps hinting towards Hulkamania's alive now, and you haven't seen the last, and we're gonna take the world by storm again, and all that type of nonsense that he's been saying. Which has me believing that there might be not a title run, but a title victory in his future and in the near future. I'm predicting February at Against All Odds, because that fits the name of the pay-per-view, and they like doing that. Hulk Hogan versus the heel Robert Roode at Against All Odds. After maybe Jeff Hardy gets a shot next month. Or actually, though, Jeff Hardy will probably get a shot in January, and then somebody else from Fortune will get a shot next month. But in February, I see Hulk Hogan. He probably won't win the match yet. He may win it in his anniversary. But just to keep that possibility alive, they'll have Robert Roode win tomorrow night so Hulk Hogan could come in as the babyface hero and try to do something. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. But that's what TNA does. So
remember what I said about the top 10 dumbest things TNA's ever done?
That'd be up there. No, that would be up there.
That'd be number 1, maybe.
It
Absolutely,
might be.
that would be number one.
Okay, on this podcast, I just laid out the scenario. Could any of you guys actually see that happening? Don't say it's because it's stupid.
It could.
I've said it on Twitter before. They're building towards it. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. But they are building towards it.
It's a possibility. It is.
It's disgusting that it's a possibility, but it's actually a real possibility. TNA. Oh my goodness.
All right, so is everybody picking Bobby Roode?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, everybody's picking Bobby Roode. All right. That's it. That's the show. I'm going to throw it over to Jeff now. He's got a little announcement regarding Chikara's first pay-per-view.
All right. How's it going, everybody? This Sunday, 4 o'clock Eastern, at the Asylum Arena in South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. independent professional wrestling promotion Chikara runs their first iPay-per-view. First iPay-per-view ever. They've been around since 2002, and they have finally built themselves up to the point where they can use iPay-per-views for their shows. The main event will be the crowning of their first ever grand champion, the finals of the 12 Large Summit that they have been running since, I believe it was April, right after King of Trios. Eddie Kingston, the last of a dying breed, versus the master of 1,000 holds, Mike Quackenbush, in the main event to crown their first ever grand champion. Other matches include the Spectral Envoy of Ultramatches Black and Hallowicked versus the BDK team of Aries and Tim Donst, a no disqualification tag team war, where Ultramantis Black and Hallowicked's masks are on the line, and Ares' Eye of Tyr, which is a mind-controlling item, and Tim Donst's hair.
Mm-hmm.
Another tag team match includes fan favorites The Colony, Fire Ant and Soldier Ant, taking on released TNA team The Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. The winner of this match will become the new #1 contenders to the Campeonatos de Parejas, Chikara's tag title belts.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. In one final confrontation, a rivalry that's been built up for several months now, the handicapped hero Gregory Iron, supported by both CM Punk and Colt Cabana, will take on the winged ring warrior Icarus of Fist, the greatest heel in professional wrestling today, as declared by me. In a big grudge match, BDK monster Tursus takes on the resilient rookie Green Ant in a storyline reminiscent of Lex Luger's Lex Express. Green Ant has body slammed Tursus, which has pissed Tursus off. Now they have their final match here at high noon. Sarah Del Rey takes on BDK leader Jakob Hammermeyer. Colt Cabana faces Archibald Peck. In their free Ustream pre-show a-go-go, El Generico faces Jigsaw. And the Funky Pharaoh Amasis returns from his career-ending injury to speak about the future of the Osirian Portal. Sunday, 4 o'clock, buy it on iPay-per-view from Go Fight Live or from Chikara's website, chikarapro.com, and hopefully you all will buy it. Definitely worth the money, $15. That's it. You get quality wrestling out of Chikara. It should really do it. Trust me, you will not be disappointed.
You guys should watch Chikara. It's going to be a good show. Just throw my 2 cents in there. It's going to be a good show.
I agree. I mean, I'm not as up to date on Chikara as I'd like to be, but you're pretty much guaranteed at least an entertaining show every time they put a card on.
Mm-hmm. They normally combine really good wrestling with some really entertaining stuff. They've got a whole bunch of colorful characters there. They've got some excellent ring workers. All hail Kingston Beaumaye. He's hopefully going to be the grand champion, because if Mike Quackenbush wins, there will be riots in the streets. But yeah, high noon.
Like Penn State.
Like Penn State. Be worse than that.
No. That it's too soon for Penn State jokes. It's too soon.
Yeah,
I'm
another
surprised
thing.
it took this long.
If this is your first time watching Chikara, we must warn you, it is family friendly. It is kid friendly. Don't expect to see a whole lot of blood and cursing and TNA shenaniganery.
You'll only get lucky for that type of stuff if Eddie Kingston gets into like his bag of tricks and starts going off. Then you may get some blood here and stuff like that, but don't look for it.
Yeah, just be prepared. If you're one of those people who really likes, adult
ECW,
themes in your wrestling.
ECW.
Don't go here expecting ECW quality stuff. Go here expecting some quality entertainment, some quality wrestling, and a family-friendly product.
It's good, man. It's good. It's good.
So, are we saying, other than Kyle, that Chikara has the Lords of Podcasts seal of approval?
I believe it does. I believe that's what we're saying.
It has mine.
I never said anything about disapproving of this show. Come on now.
He just doesn't approve of it.
You wouldn't give them the seal of approval, is what I'm saying.
I haven't watched them, so I wouldn't know.
That's the point.
Wow. Don't worry, he gives his approval. So
There you go.
Crow
He
has
gets
no
your-
idea what we're talking about, and he gives it the seal of approval.
I could not care less about Chikara, to be honest. I don't
He
follow
watches-
it, so
Get
I
out.
got nothing to
Get
say.
out.
No, it's okay.
Get out.
He watches TNA, so by default he has to give everybody else his approval. So
Ooh.
That's it. I'm gonna find a way to get the Crow banned. That's it. I'm gonna
Cannot
edit
not
one of his
support
posts.
Chikara. That's you just can't do that. It's
Okay.
impossible. They're fun. They're
Don't be an asshole, Crow. Just don't be an asshole.
You know, I'll check it out. I'm not going to buy it, but I'll check it out if I can find it later, and maybe I'll be converted. Who knows?
oh, trust me, you will be converted. You will be converted.
all right. So anything else, or
I think
I'll
that's
throw
it.
I'll throw it to Hustle. Take us away.
Well, thank you for throwing it back to me. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Does anybody else have anything to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to thank Crow for showing up today and helping us out with stuff we don't really watch that much.
Yeah.
Do what I can.
Yeah.
That was the weakest round of applause I've ever heard in my life.
Yay! Woohoo!
We
There we
appreciate
go.
Crow. We appreciate Crow.
Thank you, Crow. Thank you, Crow. Thank you, Crow. Thank
Leave
you,
your boots
Crow.
in the ring. Yeah. Yeah, the Crow. We need to get you a sound drop so bad. My last thing, I just want to say quickly, if there's any MMA fans listening, probably not because you guys hate MMA. If this is still Saturday when you're listening to it on Fox, there's a good UFC show because it's their first show on Fox, so it's going to be a huge thing. A lot of spectacle, blah, blah, blah. Check it out. You may change your opinion on MMA.
Nope.
Oh, Kyle, you're such a...
Shut up, Kyle. I don't like you. Hashtag drink.
Yep. Oh, also the Pacquiao Marquez fight
yeah.
is tonight too.
It's a busy weekend for pay-per-views.
It is.
Lot of choices. There will be a lot of things purchased and or downloaded or streamed
TNA will be
this
streamed.
weekend.
Sorry,
Mhm.
TNA.
It's gonna be a crazy weekend for combat sports of various types.
I take back my apology. I'm not sorry for streaming TNA. Do better, TNA. How about that?
I'm just saying you can do better. Huh? Throwing in Drake lyrics? Huh? Huh?
Just
Huh?
close the show, please. Just close
Huh?
it.
Huh?
On
No.
Drake, just close it.
Harvester of pauses. Shut up.
No more Drake quotes.
No more Drake quotes.
Young Money, Cash Money. Believe that. Hand rub.
Exactly.
Not hit and whisper.
We're doing a hand rub. There you go.
Oh, for God's sake.
All right. So if nobody else has anything to say, we should get the fuck out of here because this is getting ridiculous.
I've got one thing to say. One last thing.
Oh my god. What?
Rest in peace, sweet and sour Larry Sweeney. This weekend is for you, for Chikara. 12 large, brother. 12 large.
I'll agree with that. Very well said. Very well said.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Freaking-
Well, I guess that's it. And I
Yeah.
guess we've officially wrapped up yet another episode of the Lords of Podcast Roundtable
Woo.
for the rest of the cast and crew. I guess we're on out of here. So see you when we see you. I guess.
Oh, in
Goodbye, everybody.
peace.